Mandai Wildlife Reserve's night safari is probably the coolest and most unique zoo experience ever. This entire zoo is only open at night and houses exclusively nocturnal animals from all around the world. Today, we'll be exploring the newest walking trail, the Pangolin Trail. Also, if you end up enjoying this tour, maybe consider subscribing so I can make more zoo tours just like this one. But let's start. So, the Pangolin Trail is marketed as the Night Safari's Southeast Asia exhibit, but this exhibit also houses a lot of South American species too, like this first habitat here for two South American species, the grey-handed night monkey and the southern tamandua. Tamanduas, otherwise called lesser anteaters, are a much smaller species of anteater compared to the giant anteater which we saw last episode, but are instead arboreal, using their prehensile tails to reach many other species of ants and termites which live way higher up in the trees. Just ahead of these guys is the first Southeast Asian habitat for fishing cat. Sadly, I didn't see any while I was here, so let's move on to another South American species, the southern three-banded armadillo. Three-banded armadillos are one of only two species of armadillo that can roll completely into an airtight armored ball to defend itself. Surprisingly, armadillos' closest relatives are actually sloths and anteaters, though they don't look anything alike. Speaking of which, right ahead of this little guy is a habitat for giant anteater. Giant anteaters are the largest species out of the four anteater species, reaching lengths of up to 2.5 meters long. These guys can flick their tongues in and out of their mouths at up to 150 times per minute, which is about 2.5 times every second. But now, it's time for something really unique. Maned wolves. With the body of a wolf, the face of a fox, and the legs of a deer, this animal rivals the platypus for the weirdest animal. But, despite its name, they're actually not wolves or foxes or deers, but are instead the only species in the genus Chrysocyon. In front of the maned wolves is a strange species of deer, the muntjac, otherwise known as barking deer. They get that name from making a loud dog-like bark when they get alarmed. Moving further down the trail, we reach another South American habitat for some more grey-handed night monkeys and kinkajou. Kinkajou are a very unique mammal, being closely related to raccoons surprisingly. But I think the main guy in this habitat is the Brazilian porcupine. Brazilian porcupines weigh up to 5 kilograms and over 100 centimeters long, over half of which is their prehensile tail, which they use to easily grab leaves and fruit from trees. Just over here is a big habitat for Asian small-clawed otter. These otters are actually native to Singapore, where about 80% of littered rubbish end up in waterways, which becomes a big threat for this species. Small-clawed otters are the smallest species of otter on Earth, growing to around 5 kilos and measuring from 65 to 95 centimeters long. Right in front of this habitat is an aviary for some buffy fish owl. Right up ahead is the pangolin hut, a small building with 3 interconnected habitats featuring 3 animals all native to Singapore, the first of which being common palm civets. Believe it or not, one of the most expensive and gourmet coffees, called Kopi Luwak, has its coffee beans eaten and passed out by palm civets. A single cup of this coffee can cost as much as $50, but sadly, due to the growing demand of Kopi Luwak, a lot of palm civets are being housed in very small cages and force-fed nothing but coffee beans. The second habitat here is for leopard cat. Leopard cats are Singapore's last species of wild cat. Leopard cats are around the size of a domestic cat and spend most of the time resting in trees and hunting during the night, but this one definitely isn't showing us that right now. Now, the final habitat in the pangolin hut is probably what you guys have all guessed. It's the elusive Sunda pangolin. Sunda pangolins are one of the most threatened species on the entire planet, being the most heavily trafficked mammal in the illegal wildlife trade, due to their scales being used as medicine. Night Safari has 5 Sunda pangolins and were the first zoo in the entire world to successfully breed them, having 2 more births since then. Just in front of the pangolin hut is a habitat for Sunda slow loris. Slow loris are the world's only venomous primates. They have special glands on their elbow which produce a clear, oily fluid. When mixed with their saliva, it makes an active poison, which they cover all over their body when grooming, which allows them to roll up into a ball when threatened to expose their poison-covered fur. This loris also shares a habitat with the masked palm civet. Now, as you can see by this picture of the map, We started here at the tamanduas and made our way all around this loop to the masked palm civets, but we've actually missed one animal, the Indian gharial. The gharial gets its name from the growth coming out of its nose, which is called a gara. Gara translates to pot in Hindi. The gara is used to amplify the male's hissing sounds to attract females. The gara can make their hissing sounds audible from over a kilometre away. Gharials have very short and weak legs, which makes them unable to lift their heavy bodies off the ground. So instead of walking on land, gharials have to move by belly sliding, pushing their stomachs across the sand. But they only leave the water to bask or to nest. But with that being said, we have reached the end of the Pangolin Trail at Night Safari. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, here's a list of all the new species for the channel.